Hello everyone. Module 1, how to set up your WordPress blog. I want to introduce this module for you with some introductory remarks about why WordPress, what is WordPress, and then how do you get WordPress. Let's tackle the why WordPress first of all. I have 4 criteria that I use when determining which is the best blog service. And for me, WordPress wins on 4 counts. First is their popularity. They are among the 10 top used blog sites in the world. Second is their functionality. They have all of the tools built in to the WordPress site that you could use to make your blogs about your stories sing. It has usability. The way in which you set up your stories in your posts is easy. And it has visibility. Being most popular, people are drawn to WordPress sites. So having a WordPress site for your story and story series is my recommendation. However, you might like to go and find out a little bit more about WordPress for yourself. So what is WordPress? It is a self-publishing tool for you to send your messages out to a few or to many. Basically, it's a website that you develop for yourself. Today, I'm going to walk through by showing you one of my completed WordPress story sites to give you an idea of what you might include, what it looks like, and a walk through the various features that I've set up within that blog. And then we'll also have a look at where do we get help from, and we'll walk over to the WordPress help blog itself. And then finally, we get to the point of this lesson today in how to set up your WordPress blog. So we'll cover creating the WordPress account, a brief walkthrough behind the scenes. We will name the site and we'll navigate through some of the settings. So buckle up. This is what we will do today. This is my blog site where I am currently posting my family history stories. I've called it Writing in Progress, Stories of Significant Others. And I've set it up with a great header image, my avatar picture, my title here, and my subtitle here. In the site, you can scroll through and read the latest blog post, which is a story. And on the left-hand side, I've included links to other blog posts that you might like to jump to and read. So you can click on any one of those to go to that story. That's part of what you'll want to do when you've got several stories available for your readers. So we'll look into the menus later. Over on the right-hand side, I have my menu set up, and I have in this site more than just blog posts. I have my pages where I'm also dabbling in a bit of fiction writing. And so each one of those is a page that you can go to read that content. And it's a simple matter of clicking on that, which takes you to that page where my writing on this little poem is currently showing. So that's my WordPress site. But let's have a look behind the scenes, what it looks like when you set up your own. Now we're behind the scenes in my WordPress site. And I have previously created a new one to work with today for the purposes of this lesson. There are a couple of things that WordPress puts on the page for you as a reminder, and you may see these yourself when you're creating your first WordPress blog. They will want you to pay for a site if you want to make a business out of it. For now, though, we don't need to worry about that. We'll just click it off. Over here, it reminds us if you want to have a free domain name with a plan that requires money, you can upgrade. We'll just ignore that one for the time being. I created my site by going to the WordPress.com. So I'll just show you that briefly in another browser window. So you would go to https wordpress.com, and this is where you start your website. It's very simple. You just click on the Start Your Website button here. So coming back to the behind the scenes look for my site, I'll just expand that now. I'm at that point where I can name my site. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to name it. And it gives you little prompts all the way through in this initial setup. So it's very comforting to know. So I'm going to call this Stories for My Tribe. You can have a tagline below it. And for mine, I'm going to call it Keeping Ancestors in Mind. If I move that box, I will just say all done. And it gives you a little reminder. Every time you make a change, it needs to be saved. So save those settings by clicking on Save Settings. Gives you little rewards every time you make progress. So we have created the site name, and below that, I'll just scroll so that you can see that you also have a site address here. At the moment, this is called familyhistorypreserved.wordpress.com. That's very long. So if I wanted to, I could change it by adding a custom address. I would need to buy that, so keep that in mind. Current language is English. My time zone is set for Sydney or Melbourne, which is the correct time zone for me. And when I'm ready, I will launch the site. But I'm not quite ready. I have other things that I want to have a brief look at before I do the launching. All right, so now that I've finished that part of the setup, it gives me a progress to show that I have named my site. And the next thing to do is add a menu. If you're not sure on any of these, there is a little tutorial that you can watch. But let's just create our menu. And it loads in the customizer, and depending on your connectivity speed, this may slow down as it is for me today. So I'll give it a few seconds to come into view. And as you can see, coming into view is my customizing page. The name of my site is here, Stories for My Tribe, Keeping Ancestors in Mind. Here I can set up my site identity, my menus, and I have two of those, primary and social. And we'll just deal with the primary one today. And you might be asking, well, why do we need menus? It just gives your readers a place to go and things to click in order to move around your site. The next step is to set up your site identity and then choose a menu. So I'm currently in the site identity page where I can change the title, the tagline, and create a logo. So I'm going to select a logo for this page, and I've uploaded an image that I want to use today, and I've stored it here. I select the image and then click select. The only other images that you'll find in your logo library are those two, similar to those that WordPress gives you. So I'm selecting my preferred image, and I am now needing to crop it. So I can move the whole thing across to that side and expand it and take in as much of the image as I can. And then click crop image. Give it a moment. And now it has added that header to the top of my blog site. We need to save changes. When you're creating something for the header of your blog, you might like to use something simple like PowerPoint to create an image, or as I do, I use my favorite Canva program. Right, I've finished with the site identity. I go back and I choose menus. We'll only do the one today because that's enough to get started. And we have currently a primary and a social. To see what's in each of them, click the arrow, and you'll see at the moment that the primary menu includes the front page of this site, where the blogs will sit, an about page, and a contact page. So all of those are already there. We don't really need to do anything else. However, if we wanted to create a new menu, then we can do it from here. For the moment, let's just go back and have a brief look at how to set up the next stage. The next step is to follow through on setting up some of the ways in which your new site appears to your readers. And over here on the right-hand side of my screen, it's showing me the tools that I can use to very quickly change the layout. Now, the layout grid is how you align the various blocks of information that appear on your blog pages. So currently looking at the home page block, and it's currently one column. If I choose this icon, it will change that to 2 columns. And you'll see a change here on the screen itself, and we can add information by adding a block on the right-hand side of that one. Scrolling down, you can also see how this site, this new site of yours, will look on both tablet and mobile devices. Coming back to desktop for purposes of our demonstration today. And with that small change, I need to just update. If at any time you're struggling with some of the ways in which you edit your site, I would suggest that you go to Learn WordPress, which is showing on your screen right now, where you can get the most from your WordPress.com. Gives you lots of wonderful tips and tools like this one, which is a checklist of things that you need to do. So I'll come back to our page now. And I've finished doing that particular part of the site, and I now need to go back and see what's next. So I click on the W for WordPress which is the block editor sidebar, to bring up the tools that we could see as an editor. And you'll see that we were currently in the home page, and that's what we've just edited. There are other pages already set up for you, ready to edit, and they are about, contact, and of course your blog. But let's go right back. And because we have now updated the home page, we're ready to launch the site. At this point, I'm going to pause and come back to you later and show you a few more things before we launch the site. So this is your very first step in setting up your blog. And if you need help, of course, call out to me. But if you want to use the other sites like Learn WordPress, then go there as well. So this has been lesson 1 in module 1 for how to set up your WordPress blog.